The recently concluded 15th African Union Summit in Kampala, Uganda, deliberated on maternal, infant, and child health development in Africa. The health situation for pregnant and childbearing mothers and their children is dire in Africa. It is estimated that every minute, 8 children die daily from preventable diseases or treatable conditions. 2 of these children are infants. The African Union members at the summit agreed to form a group to monitor and report on the progress of maternal, infant, and child health. Leaders who attended the summit agreed to prioritize the welfare of women and safe motherhood at the top of their development agendas this year. Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Honorable Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, who attended the 15th African Union Summit with Luke Brown, said this is an area where St. Vincent and the Grenadines can lend support to Africa, as we are in a very good position to do so, based on our commendable statistics.
The theme of the African Summit addressed the matter of infant mortality, children's health, and maternal deaths. Now, in Uganda, President Museveni made the point that Uganda has maternal deaths of 456 per 100,000 persons, per 100,000 births. They have maternal deaths. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, statistically, we have 0 maternal deaths. You'll get 1. There's one occasion under this government when we got 2. And I wanted to know from the Minister of Health, why is it we have 2? People take these things for granted. We have, since we have been in office, infant mortality has fallen from 22, 23 per 1,000 live births to 16. In Cuba, it's under 10. We have some way to go still. But the number 16, compared to developing countries, is a good number. Not the best number, but a good number. And we have done phenomenal work. We have built upon earlier work, our administration, but we have done phenomenal work in that area. Therefore, we have experiences to share with our brothers and sisters in Africa. We have expertise to lend to them, in as much as they have resources and phenomenal trading opportunities, and we are a locale for them for investments.
Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves and his delegation also visited Libya. Dr. Gonsalves noted that this is the African country with the highest per capita GDP.
They have a per capita GDP of about 10,000 US dollars. Libya has enormous wealth. Their sovereign fund is very big. Oil, of course, is the foundation. 2001, I led a group of prime ministers, including Prime Minister Keith Mitchell of Grenada, was senior to me as a prime minister. But I led the group nevertheless because of the arrangements. I put things in place. Prime Minister Pierre Charles of Dominica, the late Prime Minister Pierre Charles of Dominica, and representatives of other Eastern Caribbean governments. And we had received some money, the governments. We had gotten $1.5 million US. Some others got $1 million for different projects. But that's not what I was interested in, particularly. I wanted to see Libya establish a mission, a diplomatic mission in the Eastern Caribbean. They have no one established in St. Lucia last year. Incidentally, in deference to all the work which I've been doing on this, they wanted to put it in St. Vincent. I tell them, no, put it in St. Lucia, because that's where the OECS is. By the way, when Kenny Anthony was in office, when the Mexicans wanted to put the embassy here, I tell them, no, put it in St. Lucia, because as a regionalist, I look at things in a different perspective. That's the headquarters of the OECS. It's not a diminution of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's an elevation of the OECS. I was pushing for two other things. The establishment of a holding company by the Libyans and the establishment of an investment bank. I'm happy to report that by last year, after all our communication with them and visits, the holding company was established in Antigua, and the investment bank, because of the presence of the central bank in St. Kitts Nevis, we agree that the investment bank will be established there. And I'll speak to each of them in a little more detail. Each of them to be capitalized with $100 million US. And I want the private sector to hear me. A holding company with $100 million US. Apart from they want to do investments themselves, to start businesses themselves, they will much prefer existing businesses to enter as equity partners. So, if there's an agro-processor who needs $1 million US, $2 million US, they may have a business which is worth $5 million US. They want to expand their business beyond just local consumption and just immediate OECS exports, and they want to go wider in the Caribbean and wider in the world. They can get an equity partner from this holding company. You have a water bottling plant, the same thing. Fishing, the holding company can get involved as equity partners. And from the investment bank, you can go and borrow money from them. The private sector quite correctly says that there's not a source from which it can go and get monies as easily as they would wish, because of the conservatism of the commercial banks in their lending for productive purposes.